Hello. Here's a wonderful Tumblr post from the blog Floating Book. Positing things under the light of purity politics detracts from the real question, which is, are you living according to your own deep-held values? Purity politics is often brandished in response to a call to action as a way to not act and not be blamed for it. Purity politics is never used positively. Whenever purity politics is written, chances are you will stumble on a "how can we be expected to make such a sacrifice" a few lines later. Yes, how can you be expected to make such a sacrifice? How can you be expected to live by your own values? How can you be expected to uphold your own beliefs through action? How can you be expected to show consistency between your words and your acts? Here is the crux of the matter. If something follows your values, it's not a sacrifice. You're just living according to your principles. I'm not saying that you won't be faced with obstacles, but that doesn't dispirit you from the start. If anything, obstacles only strengthen your resolve, and rarely are you alone or without means of finding help. Whining about obstacles runs in the same vein as decrying purity politics. When you believe something, acting on it isn't a struggle. Not acting on it is what causes you distress. Crying purity politics places the blame on the cause-consequence link between theory or political ideas and the logical actions they call to, implying that the cause-consequence conclusion is faulty, when in reality, the discrepancy is between the crier's pretended political stance and their willingness to disrupt their own comfort and the status quo to enact change. Rather than living and acting, it has become fashionable to share witty-sounding lines on social media and adopt the most well-known labels to quickly share what ideology you think is the best equipped to give you clout. Someone who resists action on the basis of purity politics is quite simply stating that they do not agree with the policies they pretend to support and pointing out their own hypocrisy. This hypocrisy, this lack of personal honesty, is not necessarily conscious. But at some point, you have to wonder why you resist action so much when this action is a logical consequence of the ideas you pretend to share. Things are a struggle to accomplish when you don't square with your own opinions, with your own values, with your own beliefs. Instead of saying purity politics, these people should really examine their beliefs. They are not well served by pretending to hold values and opinions they cannot really get behind. There's simply no way to move forward while denying that there is a standing inconsistency between their so-called beliefs and their unwillingness to follow through. Everyone would be better off if dilettantes were honest about why they are here, wanting to be there for the nice community, just wanting to watch the debate, simply reading the theory is fine, coming in only because they've seen the light turned on, all of which are natural. But polite or curious interest does not directly translate to held belief. There's an idiom in French, avoir la force de ses convictions, meaning that you have the moral strength to stand up for your convictions and to act them out. Otherwise, they're not convictions at all. So yes, political purity politics is a false concern. The real problem is the lack of personal convictions, the overwhelming importance assigned to appearing to think the right thing instead of plainly doing the right thing, and the tendency to change political opinions as often as the wind turns in hopes to accrue more political clout. Purity politics is an excuse. You either believe in something or you don't. That's it.